EVs might not work for everyone, but electrification really works for performance vehicles. Instant torque, hushed power delivery, and a low center of gravity are perfect for stealthy fun. The 2025 Audi Q6 e-tron is entertaining to drive. The SQ6 boosts the athleticism even more. And let's not forget, Cadillac plans Lyriq V, Genesis is rolling out the GV60 Magma, and there's cousin Porsche Macan Turbo. I've done a full video on the standard Q6 that talks about the range, the charging speed, the tech, and the interior. I suggest watching that video if you want the detail. This video is simply about the performance difference between the Q6 and the SQ6. At an Audi-sponsored event in California's Napa region, I teamed up with Chris May, Executive Director of the Audi Club of North America. Drive select. And dynamic, hit it. We both enjoyed the Q6 e-tron. Time to find out if there's a noticeable difference with the SQ. With limited time and lots of rain, I'll be using more handout video than I like. First, the powertrain. This is based on the new Performance Premium Electric Architecture, or PPE, same as Porsche Macan EV. Audi demoed a cool VR view. 30% more efficient than the first generation e-tron, it adds 33% more performance. All US Q6 e-trons get a 12-module lithium-ion battery with 180 prismatic cells. There's 94.4 kilowatt-hours usable. The power module unit is silicon carbon-based. The rear uses a permanently excited synchronous motor. The front is asynchronous. These oil-cooled motors are smaller and lighter. Audi says the new front axle improves road handling and dynamics, and the steering rack is bolted to the subframe without rubber bushings for a more direct feel. SQ6 gets larger front discs and 6-piston calipers instead of 4. SQ6 is exclusively twin-motor all-wheel drive, adding 53 more horsepower for 509, but lowers rated range to 275 miles. Dual-motor Q6 e-trons average 310. PPE is an 800-volt architecture, so it can charge lickety-split 270 kilowatts, which means charging from 10 to 80% at the right DC fast charger under ideal conditions takes just 21 minutes. At home, using level 2 charging, it's about 14 hours. But that's okay, you'll be asleep. There are 2 charge ports. The driver's side handles DC fast charging and level 2. The passenger side is just for AC. The transmission is single speed. Recuperation drag can be added by selecting B, plus these adjust regen as well. And of course, there's Audi Drive Select, so dynamics can be adjusted to a driver's preferences. SQ6 gets standard adaptive air suspension. What's it like on the road? So the Q6 e-tron, not really a slouch, huh?
No, not by any means.
This one is quicker, 0 to 60 in 4.1 seconds. Let's do launch control, and here we go. Nice. I like that. The Q6 did not have performance tones. This one definitely has a tone. The price premium for the SQ6 e-tron is around $7,000. This top trim Edition 1 version, stickers for around 83 grand. Enthusiasts will appreciate the extra sharpness of the S. It's distinct when piloting the 2 versions back to back.
Stiffer, but I feel like it's more responsive.
Yeah, but yet not flinty. Still remains comfortable, even in the performance setting. Would be nice if the roads were a little bit drier. This would be a little bit more fun. But still not bad, right?
That's what quattro is for, right? You really notice the on-off throttle in dynamic mode in this car versus the Q6.
Yeah. There is a little bit more punch. This is a fun car. And a reminder, this is an SUV, right?
Certainly doesn't act like one.
No, dynamics are really impressive. You had traction control off, and you were squirting around corners, and the back end was breaking away in a really nicely controlled manner.
Yeah, it was very predictable. Not what I anticipated, remembering that we're driving an SUV technically. So kudos to the engineers. It's just, you push through it and it bites and goes.
Yeah, it's very impressive. Also, the roads are wet, and these are performance tires, but it's taking care of everything just fine. It's really confident. With no way to conduct a proper, accurate range test, it seems hitting the 275 miles of EPA-rated range would be easy, even when pushing the car, which we're doing. Range is holding up pretty well in this, even though we've done a lot of hard launches. We're driving it like we stole it, and yet it's pretty close to the EPA-rated range, and it's not exactly warm out.
No, surprising.
Yeah, and the regen.
Yeah, I'm wondering if it has something to do with this particular model and the 220 kilowatt regen capabilities.
Yeah.
I mean, are we recouping that power? I would assume so. I mean,
the regen is very, very aggressive. Apparently, you're only going into the physical brakes when you have to stop in an emergency.
Yep.
Also, the charge curve is pretty darn good on this thing.
Was it 20 minutes and you're at 80%?
Yeah, about that. 21, I think they said. It's extremely quiet and surprisingly comfortable for a performance SUV. Other than the performance sound, I'm finding this to be as quiet as the Q6, and it is very quiet. And I missed the turn. Nice. Hey, U-turn radius, not too bad.
Yeah.
Both Chris and I had a tough time finding much fault with either Q6. Sniggly things. This haptic panel looks and feels lower rent than the rest of the cabin. The charge pad is out of sight. Phones have to be inserted by braille, and piano black tends to show fingerprints and scratches. As expected, materials are high quality. The SQ's cockpit gets a sportier vibe and slightly more bolstering in the seats. I'm switching to the standard cabin to demo stuff like the digital stage with its curved immersive OLED screen, two actually. The virtual cockpit fills an 11.9-inch section. The 14.5-incher is home to the newest version of Audi's MMI. I go over this connected interface more in the first video. Check it out. This LED strip reminds me of the one in Volkswagen's ID4. It signals many functions like greetings and charging. Here, it's literally signaling. Gimmicky? Yeah, maybe, but I like it. Wish there were more physical buttons and knobs for controls that are used often, a common gripe of mine. Android Auto and Apple CarPlay are wireless. The third screen is optional. The back seat of both 6 e-trons will be comfortable for 2 full-sized adults. 3 average ones will be okay in a pinch for shorter trips. The cushions are noticeably supportive. They don't slide fore and aft to max out leg or cargo room, though. Speaking of, all car boots should have elastic bands like this. There's solid storage under here. The charge cord is standard. SQ6 has run-flat tires, no spare. 30.2 cubic feet are certainly usable, and dropping the backs ups the space to 60.2 cubes. The floor is not completely flat, but kudos to the Audi team for the 40-20-40 split. The PPE architecture offers good utility, and yes, there's front storage. Overall, for drivers that listen to the hairs on the back of their neck, the Audi SQ6 e-tron is the way to go. Yes, the Q6 is quite fun. SQ6, even more so. You drive an S4, and you've driven the Q6 e-tron. Do you think that it's worth the money to go with the SQ?
Absolutely. You know, both from a utility perspective, relatively the same, but if you at all enjoy the sound, the experience, the G's, which is what we're feeling right now,
Yeah.
it's totally worth it. But if you're never going to really punch it, I mean, the Q6 in its base, well, not even base, the Q6 Quattro is plenty of car, and it's no slouch either.
Yeah. I suspect these Audis will fly under the radar of many EV shoppers. That's too bad. They're impressive. Full disclosure, Audi paid for my transportation, food, and lodging, common in our industry. Just know that my opinions, well, they're my opinions. Hope you got something out of this quick look at the 2025 Audi SQ6 e-tron. Again, check out the Q e-tron video for more detail. In the meantime, hey, subscribe to the channel, click notifications, follow me on social media, and if you have a question, leave it in the comments. I'm pretty good about getting back to people. That's Driven. I'm Tom Volk.